Generation 10 was just revealed this past weekend, and I gotta ask you guys, are you on Team BROWT with me?
No, I'm
Can't
not,
say that
not
I
finding
am, Ben. I'm
myself on
sorry.
Team BROWT, unfortunately.
Neither one of you. I'm on my own with Team BROWT. Well, are we evenly split though? What team are you guys on?
I like the little Pombon, the little fire dog.
Yeah, I'm partial. I'm partial to Pom Bomb for sure. It's my favorite.
Dang. So I'm outnumbered. No Gekwa love.
No, I mean there's love there.
Nah.
They're all good. I don't hate any of them. Their designs are really clean and interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I don't mind any of the three of them. I like BROWT. BROWT is if Pom Bomb wasn't there, then BROWT I'd for sure be Team BROWT. But Pom Bomb just too cute, too cool.
BROWT has got. I just like. I mean, I like birds usually, and BROWT's just got it going on, dude. He's probably my favorite of the birds. Like, I compare him to like Rowlet, Torchic, and
No.
Quaxley. I know Rowlet's a fan favorite, but I'm not a fan of the owls.
Yeah.
Really, I think BROWT looks fire, bro. He looks like an angry bird, kind of.
I feel like I feel like Rowlet, we just got a grass bird. Like it was a water bird.
They took
We just had
Rowlet's bow, his
Quaxley
little
was more
leaf
recent
bow,
than Rowlet, bro. Quaxley was more
and
recent.
moved his bow up to his
Oh,
eyebrows.
he's like a duck though. Like that's like a fake
That's
bird.
a bird, an owl, a duck,
That's
and whatever
that's
this chicken is.
Yeah, I don't even know. No. Quaxley doesn't count. That's a duck.
Anyways, I got some haters out here. Welcome back to the Gym Leader Chat Lounge podcast, episode 7, and we have invited the winner of this week's Full Group Games GLC tournament to join us. A special appearance by Tony Saia. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing good, guys. I know it's been a while, but I'm back, better than ever. Was dealing with some minor health issues, but I'm feeling so much better now. Feeling a lot better, and just so happened to get the dub this week.
Yep, Tony, we are
Tony
very
was in
happy
his
to have you
training
back.
art this week.
Thank you.
He
I
was in his
appreciate
training
it.
arc while he was gone, just grinding out games.
Yeah, I was just like stuck in bed.
Becoming a
Stuck in
dragon
bed.
master.
All I can think about is playing cards, dude. I yearn for it.
And you're stronger than ever. Yeah, the hyperbolic time chamber paid off.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're happy to have you back. Tony, hopefully will stick around next week as well. We'll see. Nothing is guaranteed in life. But yeah, as we already started talking about, Pokemon Day was this past Saturday, and we've got a big episode this week. We have a lot of news to cover, all the Pokemon Day news. We got the Full Group Games League recap. Got the No Bans tournament. We had one of the biggest webcam tournaments in recent history happen that you guys both played in. And we've got tons of new card reveals that were revealed after the Japanese Champions League and throughout the week, like the Deoxys, the amazing rare Raikou errata that is now a psychic card. Right, amazing Raikou errated into psychic with 5 energy cost. Yeah, so we'll get into that probably in that order. So we'll do card reveals last if that's what you want to hear. Stick around for that. But yeah, Pokemon Day. Did any of you guys watch live?
I did not. I had a doctor's appointment on Friday. So I couldn't watch live, but I was scrolling Twitter in the waiting room just looking. I saw the starters. And I was like, dude, the little bird. I didn't know what they were called. I was like, the little bird, bro. Like get that guy off my screen, bro.
Come on.
Yeah, he is like a little angry bird. That's the comparison I see people talking about most. Is that BROWT is like the angry bird Pokemon.
They're right out of an Angry Birds movie for sure.
Yeah, no, the Pokemon Day, the reveals, there was some cool stuff for sure. The new games, just in general, it's always hard to judge them when they show the trailer for it, and it's the not actual gameplay footage to judge how the game's actually going to look. But it's definitely got me excited to see how it turns out. Yeah, there's some screenshots here on the screen, just some beautiful images. Looks really immersive and interesting. The Winds and Waves being the official new titles of the new games that these starters are from. Lots of water. I'm sure IGN is loving that right now, ready to give this game a great review. with
yeah.
all the water that it has.
Yeah, they already tweeted that out. They already posted the screenshots of the game and said too much water. And Pokemon responded and was like 7 out of 10. So they're in on the joke. Everyone's in on the joke. But yeah, this is the best looking, obviously, newest hardware, but the best looking a 3D Pokemon game has ever looked, which is promising. And also the best trailer, I think, that a 3D Pokemon game has ever had, because in the past, when a 3D Pokemon game trailer comes out, it's impossible for even the trailer to make it look good, and there's usually from the trailer people calling out the horrible textures or dropped frames in reveal trailers. So thankfully there was none of that in this one for the first time ever. But yeah, Generation 10, I'm hyped. I love the game, so I'm looking forward to playing that. But yeah, so we got the new starters, BROWT, Pombon, and Gekwa. I want to know what team you guys are on. Team BROWT all the way. But I did want to quickly talk about, I'm excited for a new generation and new starters always, especially for what that means for GLC. Because usually, the starter Pokemon are pretty solid. They give them pretty strong effects, even if they don't end up being the best meta GLC Pokemon. There's a large pool of starter Pokemon cards that are at least considerable, if not already, really strong in GLC, such as, Shady Dealings Inteleon. We just got Meganium, Emboar for Fire decks. Those are just some recent ones. I actually pulled up some on PKM and cards here. Obviously, some of these aren't starters, but it's just as narrow of a search that I could get down to. And, we've got Cinderace that was recently printed with explosiveness. Skeledirge with the Unaware has a really strong attack. So I'm hopeful for the potential of these new starter Pokemon and what that will mean for GLC.
One thing that I get excited about is that they got revealed, and they're going to be printed right away, once the new generation starts rolling out. So we'll have, I mean, they're the starters. Of course, they're going to get at the least semi-interesting cards. So just something to look forward to.
That's right. Yeah. I wonder if
the starters, they used to when the first printing of the starters way back kind of used to be in the theme decks a lot of times, I feel like. And
right.
and they weren't the best, but and so the first printings aren't always great, but then I'm pretty sure Shady Dealings Inteleon was the first printing for the Sobble line too. So it's just one of the best cards ever printed there. So you really don't know what to expect with these things sometimes. So I'd be
Right.
interested
Yeah.
to see which one of the three maybe gets the really good broken card.
Yeah. Yeah. I am excited for that. But yeah, Inteleon was printed in set 1 of Sword and Shield base set. But interestingly, for Sword and Shield base set, they printed 2 versions of each starter. There was 2 Inteleons. There was 2, I don't even remember, Rillabooms. There was 2 of each of them. And I think that was the set that, the good Rillaboom was printed in as well. I'm blanking on his ability name. Voltage Beat.
Voltage Beat.
Yeah. So Voltage Beat was printed at the same time as Drumroll Rillaboom, which exists. I don't know if it's ever seen play in GLC, but
wait, this guy's kind of broken.
He's cool, but when he'd want to be paired with Jungle Beat Rillaboom, that's the downside.
Yeah.
So hopefully they give. I just want to see interesting abilities on each of them, even if they don't end up being staples in any deck. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. Usually they'll give them something interesting because, again, they're the face of the new generation, and people want to see something decent there. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do when that comes out. That's a long ways away. The game's not coming out until 2027. Who knows when we're gonna get the actual first TCG set though? So. In other news from Pokemon Day, we have the 30th anniversary set was teased. Similar to the Celebrations set, which was printed for the 25th anniversary. This is for the 30th. We don't have a set name or anything yet. Yeah, just the teaser trailer. And first time for the first time in the TCG history, it will be a simultaneous global release, but for this set only. At first, during the trailer, and they said that, I thought like we're moving to a global release calendar for all sets moving forward, meaning like our standard format would match Japan's standard format because they're always like 4 months ahead. And that's something people have asked for before, but they, at the end of the trailer, they were like, just this set. So that was kind of disappointing. But yeah, like, if you guys watched the trailer, they showed all these old cards in different languages. Do you guys think this will be, reprinted cards similar to Celebrations that we'll see?
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah,
like a good. That was like a good example that they set, and Celebrations was the last one.
Yeah.
I actually like that idea. But I wish that I don't know. I want to be like picky about what cards they reprint because us as GLC players, like, it'd be awesome if they could reprint some the more expensive staples. I can't think of like mainly Tropical Beach is like the only one I could really think of off the top of my head that would make sense.
definitely love to see some of those. None of the cards in here, as Ben's flipping through them, were ones that are any GLC even relevant ones. A lot of the cards that were impactful in their heyday and standard were rule box or interacted with rule box. And we got the amazing Raikou is one of the ones shown. Unfortunately, a banned GLC card. But yeah, what kind of just led to believe that these are possibly cards that will be reprinted in the 30th anniversary set, maybe with that stamp, very similar and akin to what the celebration set looked like.
Yeah, they only showed 12 historical cards in the teaser trailer, based on these images, and I think there was 25 reprinted cards for the 25th anniversary. There was a special 25 card. No, because that was like the main set was 25 cards. I don't actually remember how many
There was
functional reprints
there was
there were.
25 of each. There was the functional reprints. There was 25, and then there was also 25 in the main set. So it was like an
Okay,
exactly 50 card set for
Yeah.
for celebrations.
got it. So there could be more cards reprinted. It's not interesting to show Tropical Beach for all the normies who are watching the stream. It's not interesting for them to see a stadium card. Oh boy, So
Yeah.
I get why they wouldn't have shown that. So again, this is all just a teaser. We don't know what's going to actually be there. We don't even know if these are the actual reprinted cards. But then they gave us a look at these very colorful Mew and Mewtwo guys, and they're Chrome in the future, just as Squidward predicted, or SpongeBob. Everything's Chrome in the future. Yeah, I am interested to see what they end up doing with it. We'll have to wait and see. It is coming out this year. They did say 2026, so we do have that to look forward to. Besides that, for Pokemon Day, nothing that we care about very much. They covered all the other spin-off games and Pokemon Champions. I'll probably pick that up and play it a little bit on my Switch. Oh, Pokopia actually was the most interesting to me. I don't know if you guys have a Switch too or are thinking of playing Pokopia, but it looks really fun. I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan, and it looks like it's gonna scratch that itch in my opinion.
Yeah, it was it wasn't really something that was on my radar before, and then after watching the Pokemon Day trailer specifically, I was like, wow, there's a lot of substance to this game. Because in the first trailer you didn't really get to see much of it, but there was a lot of like, yeah, definitely the Animal Crossing, you could kind of tell before, but then there was that scene at the end where like they were building that giant Ditto together out of blocks, and I'm like, oh, this is like kind of like Minecraft too, and like everybody at least a lot of people I know like to go through that like 2 week Minecraft phase every year where they want to hop back on and build stuff and play Minecraft and stuff. So a lot of interesting games kind of look like they're mashed into one and under that Pokemon IP for Pokopia. So it definitely has me thinking about maybe I need to get a Switch too, because it is exclusive to the Switch 2. Cannot play it on the current Switch, so got to upgrade if you don't have that.
Yeah, it makes me a little sad that these games will just they'll never leave the Nintendo proprietary systems. Like I won't be able to play these games on my Switch legally. Uh, I won't be able to play these games on my computer legally.
Yeah, on
But
your computer.
like the Pokopia looks like that would definitely scratch an itch because like I'm not really big with the Pokemon games. Like I've never played a mainline Pokemon game. Never played a Pokemon game on like Game Boy DS, Switch. I'm just a fiend for the cards. And the reveal, not gonna lie, Pokemon Day reveal didn't exactly scratch my itch that I needed to be fulfilled.
Yeah, it's you gotta encompass the whole brand. I'm gonna eat all the slop that they're feeding me, and so I've never missed a Pokemon Day stream. I'll say that much. Anyways, but yeah, so that was all the Pokemon Day news. Came and went, and we have Pokopia next week, Gen 10 not for another year, and that was about it. But moving on, we can quickly jump into a quick recap of the No Bans tournament. If you've been following along in the podcast, Jon and I are playing in the Turbo Blaze No Bans GLC tournament, and this past week was the round 3 match. It's a month-long tournament, and let me swap screens over here, show our current pairings. I paired into Tricky Jim himself, Andrew Mahone, this week, and we did play our best of 3 match on his stream. If you caught it this past Thursday before the GLC League stream, we did a little pre-stream exhibition match of our No Bans tournament, and I ended up winning 2-0 over him with his Raikou deck and my Let Loose Marshadow deck. Psychic's just broken into the Raikou. It's so good to have Wobbuffet, to have Bench Barrier, and to have Mimikyu. So he put up a fight, but I took it home. You can go watch it on his channel. Jon, how did your round 3 go?
Yeah. Well, before I do, I just want to ask. So you've 2-0'd the Lightning deck twice. Like, is there any route that they have? Like, is there anything you think that the Raikou Lightning can do into like your list, basically a list that has the Mimikyu and like the Mr. Mime?
So I did 2-1 the first Raikou in round 1. I did lose a game, and that was because I only had Giratina and Iron Boulder in play, and I never was able to bench anything else. And they got the turn 2 Raikou, and which they still had to attack twice with because both of my guys are over 120 HP.
Yeah.
But yeah, bricking will do that to you.
Sure.
Or if they can have like, there's routes for sure. Like when they have Silent Lab and Hex Maniac, if they just have to find the exact cards they need on the exact turns they need, like for multiple turns in a row, to deal with everything the Psychic deck is throwing at it. Because if they just take one turn off and I'm able to reestablish or swing back with a Mimikyu, it's going to be so hard for them to do that. And they have very little control over what they draw into because they're usually just turboing through their deck with the Zebstrika. And that was actually especially true in Andrew's deck because he opted for the Magneton that explodes to attach energy rather than the call signal Magneton to search supporters. I think, I mean, at its peak power level, the attach energy Magneton is stronger to like instantly swing back with a Raikou because you can attach any kind of energy, so it's just an instant Raikou again if you use it. But the call signal just helps so much with actually finding the cards you need on that turn. If you say you already powered up Raikou with Joltik, now you can use Magneton to find the Hex Maniac, to find the Silent Lab on that turn. But that's just not an option Andrew had. He literally just would have to draw into the cards he need or use a supporter to search those cards and have that supporter in hand. So it's just a tough matchup. Like it can go like their deck is fast and Psychic might have a slow turn, but if I'm able to bench just bench Barrier at all, like even Wobbuffet active is not necessary. Like just bench Barrier if I get that down, it just makes their game plan like so much harder. So that's how it went.
Yeah. Cool. No, I was just curious. It seems on paper it seems pretty hopeless. Just after playing 4 to 6 games of it, curious your thoughts on if it's even possible. So yeah, it sounds like there's a route, but pretty hard to find. But
Yeah.
yeah, I did play against Count Sligu this week on a Orthworm Metal deck. So this deck, not playing any sorts of banned cards. So just a pretty, I would say, average power level, like standard for the current format of GLC. Playing against a super fast, turbo aggressive deck in the colorless deck that I'm playing with the double colorless energy. So uh, really just able to just kind of just set up and go fast and hit hard and I don't remember a lot of we played our match pretty early in the week, so I don't remember a lot of the details of this, but um, just kind of got my guys going and was able to kind of run away with it. The I was talking with Count Sligo. He mentioned that it really wasn't. He hit two colorless. He said he was really hoping to hit some of those Raikus and the amazing rare Kyogres with his like metal with its big basic guys and damage reduction and stuff.
Right.
You saw he had the item that reduces 30 to all of your metal Pokemon. So like really protecting all the bench Pokemon with all the bench snipe and everything like that. And then that Orthworm being able to hit 240 damage to knock out like whale lords and stuff like that. So he definitely thought about the what the meta was going to be, just isn't hitting the matchups that he was hoping to see there with his metal deck. So went
Right.
ahead and won this one 2-0.
Nice. Yeah. So you move up to 2-1. I'm at 3-0. There's still a bunch of matches to be played before this week is up. But by the time this podcast comes out, you can go and check and see what happened. There's going to be 3-3-0s going into the final fourth round. So I don't know who I'm going to get paired up against, but it will be the final round. And hopefully I go 4-0 and get just for fun. It's just for fun, no stakes. We'll see what happens. The final two 2-0s are another Raikou deck, and there are two Archeops decks. So Patrick here is playing an Archeops colorless deck, and Wonk Daddy Chucky is also playing an Archeops colorless. So probably one of those, but one of us will get paired down as well. So yeah, I've beaten two Raikus.
What's Lee playing?
So Lee's playing Raikou. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll next podcast we'll have the update of who won it, who won the whole thing probably. So thanks for following along with the No Bans tournament. Shout out Turbo Blaze for hosting that. It's been really fun. One other. Do we want to go into FGG? No, we'll go into TBZ. Another GLC tournament that happened this past week, a webcam tournament on Pokemon Day, was the Turbo Blaze Trials Week 27 tournament. And this was a huge turnout of 33 players, I should say. I should say that because that's correct. 33 players signed up for this webcam tournament. I know you two both played in it. I'm busy Friday nights, so I couldn't make it. Yeah, great turnout for a webcam tournament. I'm curious if this is their highest turnout yet. A full art N was on the line, so a pretty good prize for a free tournament. So again, shout out Turbo Blaze for providing that. But Evan Wiki ended up taking it home with Psychic. Evan is a Turbo Blaze member, so the N is staying in the family. So congrats to Evan for taking it down 5-0. But John, why don't we? Well, let's give Tony a turn to talk a little bit. Tony, what happened?
Yeah. You could, I mean, yeah, I played in this, throw up the finger quotes. I lost round one against, I lost round one against the not too blindside psychic deck, and man, it absolutely deflated me after my 5-0 run at full grip. And then I played the next round just for fun, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of a bounce back. And I was like, yeah, I lost the first round. Like, even if there's a 4-1 bubble off, like, I'm screwed. So I decided to just throw it in the trash. I'm not gonna, I don't want to sit there and just like all my time and get to the bubble and I just out of luck, save myself the
I
Save
respect it.
myself
I
the.
respect it. You played the dragon deck. We'll get into the dragon deck more once we talk about full grip because you did win that tournament. So why don't we just hop over to Jon? Jon did do well in this tournament. Ended up going 4-1, tying with second place, but ending up at fifth place on resistance. Jon, you played psychic. What happened?
Yeah, so I also last round won. Only difference between Tony and myself is I was willing to stay up past midnight and finish this out. So yeah, I'd played a just a pretty standard looking, Monkey Dory psychic list. Um, the first round, I really just kind of flubbed it. I played against special whales and just like didn't even think about like using Mimikyu to respond. I punched the whale lord with my Giratina. It got healed off. I was already like really behind in the start of this game, and like didn't play supporters for like the first 3 turns of the game. Like barely got set up. Fortunately, they got fully set up, but just weren't finding the things they needed to be able to attack. Me not going taking a prize early meant that they were just like kind of having to manually power up the Wailord. The reversal energy wasn't
Right.
anything that they could use, so like I bought myself some turns. But with buying those turns, I didn't end up doing anything with them, and like I said, just kind of misplayed a lot. So, but yeah, the Monkey Dory psychic list, I noticed, I don't know what exact percentage, but like a lot of the psychic lists in this tournament are like wore the Monkey Dory psychic list. Tony mentioned he played against them round one. Just a really strong, like good way. Lots of ways to come back into the game with the not too blind side, and this one specifically playing the Blacephalon. So just like 2 ways that you can take multiple prizes and come back into the game or run ahead in the game. So been liking this list. It's a really one of the strongest ways to play Psychic right now. So yeah, just ended up having a good run with it.
Yeah, it's very popular. This is probably like the premier way to play psychic right now, especially after, Hector won the last 3K with it. Um, but yeah, congrats on pulling it back, going 4-1. Getting that practice in for the 3K maybe. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, let's take a look at
You
the
had the
winning
strength that I
list.
didn't have.
Anyways, Evan Wiki taking it down 5-0 again. Why didn't you know it? It's a Monkey Dory not 2 deck. So congrats to Evan. His matchups were
Wait,
against
don't
Psychic.
don't forget about the key tech card in the
Oh,
list.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting
Go ahead and
there.
go.
All right,
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
getting there.
okay.
All
Just
right,
making
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
making sure. Just
Yeah.
making
I'm
sure.
getting
Making
there. All
sure.
right, yeah, a little sneak peek there, a little spoilers, but Evan played a goofy little tech card in his list, in his 5-0 run, but he went into a Psychic, a Fighting, 2 grass decks, one of which was the Egg Mill deck, Ghouls, and then in the finals up against a water deck, which looks like it was just a Milo Pump deck. So congrats. Oh, actually, I did one interesting thing. I did hear in his match against Ghouls, the Egg Mill deck, he won by donking Ghouls 30 HP Pokemon with Inkay's coin flip attack.
That
Oh,
is brutal.
I caught the last bit of his finals match, and the Feebas also only having 30 HP. The Blacephalon turn, he did the Blacephalon, and then the Blacephalon got knocked out, but it can still do the 4 damage counters. So instead of having to go through like the Lux Cape to Wishy Washy in the active, he just like sniped the Phoebus off the bench. It
And it
was
goes,
interesting.
yep,
So
that's sick. And it goes around the bench barrier on the Phoebus as well. So smart play by Evan.
yes.
Can you spot the interesting tech card in the list? Which card does not belong here? Ta-da! What what is this, Jon?
This card is Hugh. I can't say. I feel like I've seen this card before, but I just like I've I don't even know like this character. I didn't really. I don't think I might have skipped the black and white games. I think it's from black and white. But anyway, text on this card is that each player draws or discards until he or she has 5 cards in his or her hand. So just another way to match hand sizes, but also like I don't know if this was necessarily Evan's thought, but a lot of these Monkey Dory decks, like playing like the Gardevoir and just like growing the hand like really, really large. So instead of just playing a like an N or um Iono and just like getting those cards shuffled back into their deck and they get to keep their resources, your opponent can have like a massive 10 card hand and you're making them discard down to 5 cards from that. So you're like, in the way, if your opponent has a large hand, this can be a little bit more disruptive to their strategy than those normal hand disruption cards. So I'd be interested to talk to Evan and see if like this ever actually did something like that, because it does, it's a different hand disruption. I haven't tried it, but it'd be interesting to. I kind of want to try it and see if it has the desired effect of removing a bunch of cards from your opponent's hand.
Oh wait, bro. This is a theme deck card right here. Hey, if you bought a theme deck in like 2013, you were getting 4 copies of Hue for sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, so this is why we have 3 people on the lounge, so we can get those diverse opinions y'all have been missing. But yeah, Hugh, John was kind of convincing me there a little bit. Forcing them to discard resources, like in some cases can be better than just shuffling their hand against a deck that is gonna draw a bunch of cards again anyways. Like fighting and psychic are the ones that are usually getting the big hands. Yeah, force them to make like the hard decisions. I don't hate it. Again, like I haven't played with it at all. I didn't see it happen at all.
Yeah.
We'll see.
How many times do you start your turn as psychic? You push your boulder into the active and you go cards in hand, and they go like 12. And you're like, what am I going to do here? I present to you Hue. Tony, you're probably right. It probably was a theme deck. I bet this card was released in theme decks because it doesn't
I
read well.
guarantee
But
you.
I'm
I
just saying there's
guarantee you this deck
situations
discards on a theme
where
deck.
you're going to be thankful you have Hue in your hand, or that you can Gallade for Hue.
Yeah, I mean, I think in Evan's list, it's like the spot where Judge would be. Like he's not playing Judge. He's still playing the other cards. Iono N. Is there an N? Oh yeah, Iono and N. No Marnie.
There's no Marnie.
No Marnie. Okay, if it's taking the Marnie spot, I might call Cap there. If it's taking the Judge spot, I'm like on board a little bit. But
I can see that.
The Marnie spot is crazy. Marnie is so good. Just for your own, like, however good Hugh is at maybe discarding 4 cards from your opponent on the higher end, Marnie, you're still. You got to think about how it affects you as well, because say you have 6 cards, you have to discard as well. If you have 2 cards in hand, or if you say you have 3 cards, so 2 cards plus Hue, you play Hue, you're only seeing 3 new cards, right? And if you're trying to hand match with Boulder, you can't play any of those cards. So, I don't know. Like, Marnie is just, I think, higher power for yourself. Hue has good potential into these, niche scenarios, and I think it's best in a situation like this where your opponent. Well, actually, I should correct myself. I was going to say it's best when your opponent can't see it coming, but this was an open deck list tournament. If I was Evan's opponent, I would have been like,
"This is my
"There's
opponent,"
Hugh.
and I see their list, and I'm like, oh, I'm not at any point. I'm not like thinking like, oh, I gotta watch my hand size. I'm gonna get Hued here. Like, I think even as a known quantity, Hue can get in there. I don't think people are, even if they saw it, I don't think people would respect the Hue.
Yeah. If I'm looking through my opponent's deck list and I see the Hue in there over Judge or Marnie, even we're good, bro.
I'm pogging.
I can't say too much though. 5-0 full art N winner, like Hue in the deck.
It's fun. Again, like this is a way to have fun in GLC, and if it catches on, it catches on. I want to see some more people trying out Hue. I want to try it out myself. So props to. Again, like John said, and I didn't even know this card existed. I had no idea this effect existed, really. So knowing another option to hand match with Boulder, your best attacker, not a bad thing. So props to Evan for that creativity and taking home the 5-0, winning that full art, and gave us something to talk about.
I do want to clarify. Evan, being a TBZ player, does not win the N. Their players cannot win that, so the N stays in the card pool, meaning that in a future TBZ tournament, the N will again be the prize. So keep your eyes peeled for that. 33 players in this tournament. Let's keep getting those big turnouts when these big prizes come up. So N will be back in the prize pool.
Yeah, follow TBZ on Twitter for those announcements. Let me pull up their account just to, because I don't know the username off the top of my head. Yeah, if you want to follow TurboBlaze on Twitter, it's at TurboBlazeGLC. Yeah, they did tweet out that they were giving out the N, so if you want to follow along to know when it's happening next, give them a follow on Twitter or join their Discord server. But that's really cool. I didn't know that it was not given out to one of their own members.
Yeah, the idea they said is they host it, so they don't want to win their own prizes, basically. So, which is super cool of them. So,
well, I'm glad I'm not
nice
on the
guys
team,
over
so
there.
I can win the N.
Yeah, exactly.
The real
Great time
question
to
is
not
if
be a Turbo Blazer.
if Alex Carpenter won, would he get the N?
Oh, that's the question,
He's
isn't it?
he's halfway in both groups.
It depends on
You
if
gotta
he
pick a
plays one of
side.
their decks or not.
That's true.
True.
He has to play his
guy
own
loves
deck.
the Turbo Blaze list.
Hey, don't we all, bro?
So true, dude.
All right. Yeah, so that was a fun webcam tournament to discuss. And yeah, if you're looking for more webcam action, join TBZ or Cardboard Warriors Discord servers. There's about 4 webcam tournaments throughout each week, happening weekly. Yeah, they're a good time if you're looking for some more games. Let's get into the more main event-ish, which is the Full Grip Games GLC League recap. It was week 29 of season 3. And wouldn't you know it, our very own Tony Saia, 5-0, Jet Blaze, DWAGONS. Boom.
Yeah,
Coming back.
I just want everybody I want to clarify here. This Evo Dragons deck, we will be referring to it as DWAGONS. That's the name of the deck. I'm putting my foot down as the badge holder. I have to honor our good friend Dylan Ryan, aka Dweesh. He created the idea for the deck. We're calling it DWAGONS.
I'm putting the nicknames in parentheses because Jet Blaze gives people an idea of what it is. DWAGONS is the name, That's why I got Harambe down here. Nobody knows what. If I just say Harambe, unless you know, you know. But if you don't know, there's no way you're knowing. So I gotta explain it a little bit. But yeah, the DWAGONS, and we got the Fragons in second. Fran sticking it with her own Evo Dragons list. Zach Pra, another local, I think named it the Fragons, if I'm not mistaken. Beast name. Beast name, I'll say that.
Beast.
But yeah, 2 dragons taken first and second has not been done at all this season, I don't think, to go first and second. This is our 3rd dragon badge, so our 3rd person to get first with dragon. But top 1 and 2, this is early days of Turbo Blaze Dragon years ago. For Dragon to have this resurgence at Full Grip Games, kind of crazy. We kind of have hinted at it for the past couple weeks as it slowly inched its way up closer to first place. It was in 8th place with Ben Peacock 3 weeks ago, and then I think we saw it in top 4 last week. Was that you, Tony?
Me.
Yeah, Tony,
Yeah.
top 4 last week with the DWAGONS. Now at first place, the Evo DWAGONS got refined. The deck was thinned and, just optimized. And now, Tony, 5-0. Congrats on that placement. Quick overview of the rest of the top 8. If you're not watching, Hunter playing Lightning at 8th place. Haven't seen a Lightning deck in a long time. But Fighting has kind of moved on from the Full Grip meta recently with how many badges it's got. This week and last week, there's only been 1 in the field. You see there at 6th place, Chase was playing Fighting. And then myself at 4th place with the Hops Cramorant with the Swellow, the Harambe deck that I was talking about. And then we got Ben Peacock in 3rd place at Garbodor to round out the top 8. Jon, there you are in the corner, 10th place with the Metal deck, 2-3. Tough.
Yep. Just one of those weeks.
Just one of those weeks. But Tony, why don't we get into the DWAGONS list? Tell us how your night went.
It went really well. I'll run through my matchups here. Round 1, I played against Vince on Garb. You're gonna notice a really a trend with all of my games. It's kind of just a raging Bolt fest. I quickly shoved Bolt against Vince and took an early knockout. However, this game I got punished for it really badly. Vince had a 1-card hand and a Necrozma with Necrozma with 2 energy on the bench. One of them was a special, and I used Raging Bolt to knock out Frillish. And I was like, 1-card hand, why not? Let's risk it, take the knockout. My board was like decently strong. I had Raihan in hand, so I was like, okay, I can take an established turn if he has the energy, but I don't think he does. What do you know, off the 1-card hand, Vince had the energy. I got punished. However, after that, um, I was just able to just like go nuclear on my board, like get both of my Evos set up, attach energy to multiple guys, take an off turn, and then after that, I was just going, Sonic Slip, Garchomp, powering up my Dragonite. That's just like such an insane combo to deal with. The Sonic Slip, that guy's got 160 HP, and then you go directly into the Dragonite with 180. Just an insane combo. A lot of decks, really hard to deal with that. Round 2, I played against Jon, our very own Jon Patterson. I would say that it was like a pretty standard start for both of us, but it got a little bit awkward for me, and I had to leave my Tatsu in the active to get knocked out by a Heatran Guard Claw. Is that what the attack is called? That reduces by 30.
Yeah.
And I did the math wrong on my revenge attack, and I was 10 short of knocking out the Heatran with Druddigan. And I Arvin for Muscle Band literally that turn, but I was like, I don't need this. So used to doing that math on the Necrozma, who has the same effect of the attack, but Necrozma only has 130 HP. So that math doesn't really matter. After that, I would say, Jon, would you consider this like a dead draw? It was going pretty rough for you.
Yeah. At this point in the game, I wasn't doing much.
Yeah.
I was just basically trying to get an attacker set up on the bench. I was getting my Zamazenta set up, dead set on protecting it. So I knew if this thing got gusted, knocked out, that I was toast. So I had my Zamazenta with the energy. It had an effective 160 HP. I threw down my Metal Core Barrier. It's got an effective 230 HP. I'm like, cool. I'm chilling this turn. I'm fine. And then Tony, you can tell them what happened next.
Yeah, so I had insane combo cards in my hand. I had my Rayquaza, which has the Dragon Claw attack, foreshadowing as to what's going to happen this turn. I had that with 1 energy. I had 2 basics in my hand, and I had Guzma and a Floatstone attached to my Turbo Blaze Reshiram. So I went Guzma, that Turbo Blaze attached to my Rayquaza, and Dragonium Z to knock out Jon's pretty much his only hope left on the board. And after that, it was kind of just like a cleanup. Jon wasn't really able to draw anything after that, and it's so hard to like get your board reset up after that kind of thing happens. Round 3, played against Ben Peacock, and he was on Garb, and kind of just like the first game against Vince, shoved Raging Bolt. This time though, I got to use one of my tech cards that I put in for tonight. I E-hammered special on the Necrozma that was active, and the next turn, Ben, he actually told me that he messed up. He attached to the benched Iron Boulder instead of attaching another energy to the active. So I kind of got to keep the Necrozma in the active and just snipe all the little stuff on his board while also attaching more energy to my bench guys and just getting my board set up to go crazy after that. Round 4, I played against our very own Ben Morse. I completed the GLCL double kill. I friendly fired both of my bros, and Ben was playing the Harambe deck like he mentioned, the top stuff with the Swallow that can take 2 prizes. And we both actually had a pretty good start. Ben was the first one to attack with a Hoplax, and he I can't remember what you knocked out. You knocked out whatever was in the active though, probably like a Tatsugiri or something.
Yeah.
Knocked out whatever was in the active, and after that, I did the same thing I did to other Ben. I did to Peacock. I E-hammered energy off the active and started sniping around it. And Ben was not able to draw a single thing. The turn he took the knockout, he actually went Skwovet just to put one card in his hand because he had useless cards in his hand. And then the next turn he had a Night Stretcher for Skwovet, do the same thing. And that just gave my Raging Bolt two free targets. He was able to come back with a cram, but at that point, still not drawing anything. My board was just really set up, and I ended up running away with that one. Round 5, I played against Aaron in the finals, and he had a pretty interesting take on a dark deck. He had a Crobat dark deck with what's the stage 2 pawn-eared guy? King Gambit.
King Gambit.
He had King Gambit. Yes. Yet again, I shoved Raging Bolt this game, and Aaron plays a lot of little basics guys with 60 HP, 50 HP, Spiritomb and Zubat. And I started the absolute nuts this game. I started Double Dragon, Lilies, Raging Bolt, and yeah, I mean there's not much to mention after that. Yeah, I did have a cool turn this game where I had a combination of cards in my hand, Escape Rope, Field Blower, Muscle Band, that was going to let me knock out everything that was on Aaron's board. In particular, he had a Guzzlord with a Fighting Fury Belt attached to it with 2 damage on it from a Toxtricity ability. So I wanted to try to bait that into the active, thinking it was safe. And with the combination, that's what Aaron ended up doing after I played the rope. And with the combination of cards, I ended up knocking out pretty much his only attacker and kind of breaking the board and running away with that game too.
Nice. Took it all home. Got your 3rd badge of the season. Now tied with John and Hunter. All of you at 2nd place behind Alex Carpenter. Yeah, so well done. I am now the weakest link of the GLCL podcast. But I'm coming back.
It's okay. We were all there.
We've all been at 2 badges, but I remain.
Yeah.
I played the. Well, do you want any final thoughts on the Dragon deck? How, what do you? Let me go. What do you think of it overall?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm really impressed. Dragon was like not really a type that ever interested me, but at 2 badges, I was kind of just like looking for any deck to play that I thought had a little bit of potential. And Dylan sends me this list, and he's like, I've just been trying this out, and I had never actually even read this Dragonite, and I was like, when I saw it, I was like, how did any of us miss this? Like, this card's like insanely statted out, like 180 for 2, good ability that synergizes with the other Dragon guys. Yeah, in terms of like comparing it to the rest of Dragon and the other popular Dragon deck, Dragobox, I think Dragobox will always have a spot in the meta just because of how aggressive it is. It's a good meta call deck. But I think this deck is more refined and can take like a better like general matchup like from week to week. So I urge like anybody to try this deck. I think it's really strong. Actually, in playing some more games, I think that it has a actually pretty weak matchup into like traditional psychic decks. When I say traditional, I mean pretty much like the Not Too Blindside deck or anything playing Dusknoir. Those decks just have like insane reach, and you don't play hardly any disruption. You're not gonna really stop them from doing their thing. And all of the Not Too Blindside decks in particular play bench barrier. So that's like if you can't shove Bolt active as your first guy and take a prize or 2 at that, it's really hard to set up your Evo guys. So maybe against like another like aggressive deck. This would have a weaker matchup too. But in terms of the meta right now, there's not a lot of traditional psychic at Full Grip right now. A lot of players are playing Garb still.
Yeah. Or
So I
have
thought
the
it was a good
psychic
time to bring
badge
it.
and have moved on.
Oh yeah, or they have the psychic badge. Yeah.
Yeah, so specifically
Yeah.
pretty
So
good into the full grip meta right now.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, really strong though, really consistent. Yeah, compared to like the all basics dragon build, they're different, but it does have kind of some comeback factor to it, where the basics dragons do not in the Sonic Slip Garchomp, potentially buying a turn, and Dragonite just being at 180 HP. Those are two ways that the Dragon deck could maybe form a comeback in a way that the basics build was lacking, though the basics build, might be a little faster out the gate. It's nice to have a second version of Dragon that, has proven to be decently strong, rather than it's just like all basics or nothing, turbo dragons or nothing. So I do like that we've been introduced to this new archetype, and both can exist and have their strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, really cool deck. Psychic's just so powerful. I mean, it's just got all the options. So but yeah, really cool deck if you want to try out dragons in a different way than the turbo way that we've all been playing it for the past 2 years. Give this a spin. But yeah, we're gonna quickly jump into my and Jon's matchups. And even though I did get top 4, I was 3-2, which is nothing to be super proud of. But I'm not even gonna go into all my matches. I'll just say that I started 3-0 and finished 3-2 after losing to both Fran and Tony with two of like the worst bricks I've ever had with colorless decks back to back. So that really took the wind out of my sails and kind of harshed my vibe on the Harambe deck a little bit, because I was just drawing into evolutions before I needed them, and missing cards that that I've historically played in like a more the more traditional turbo colorless deck with Cinccino and Dodrio. One thing I totally miss from the Cinccino Dodrio kind of build to this build is that Fan Rotom in this deck, the only evolution you can find is Swellow, which is not a support Pokemon, it's an attacker. Compared that to the other build where you can find both Dodrio and Cinccino off of Fan Rotom to guarantee your, like, unless your hand disrupted, to guarantee that you can have some draw after your first turn. So while this deck I think does have the higher peak power, I was I lost, round 3 and round 4 and 5 after, not having those just extra draw that I was missing. So not saying that, the other version of colorless is better than this one. That's just what happened to me. It's just variance, that happens with any deck. So just unfortunate, but just in those moments I was hating my life a little bit. Unfortunately, but still a really strong deck. I got to give it another shot. This is a great way to play colorless. We've talked about it multiple times on the podcast. Alex got his badge with it. Chase was second place with it, I think, last week. Yeah, great colorless deck. That was my top 4 finish from this week. Jon, you played metal. What happened to you?
Yep, just tried metal again. The list I ended up going 2-3. Metal is just such a average type. And that's really kind of how my games played out. Nothing like super exciting. Like Tony talked about our match a little bit. It was like some interesting stuff there, but I don't know. I like this version of metal. It's just pretty straightforward. Just you've got things to power up your guys and just start swinging with. The Zacian does swing early with. And then just some things to kind of hope squeak out, like surviving a turn with the metal core barrier and the fighting fury belt there. um take a look at my notes for my matchups real quick. I'm not going to go over all mine either, because like nothing crazy happened. Yeah, like my 2 wins were just kind of like long donks where my opponent didn't get set up and I didn't. I got slowly set up and and won. Um, and then lost to Hunter on that Lightning Spread deck. Really cool to just see Lightning Spread show up again now that fighting has kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. Only that one fighting there this week. So Hunter had mentioned that, his plan into fighting was just to dodge it. And that's realistic when there's only one in the room, and I don't think he played against it. So, kind of being free to play this really strong version of Lightning that's kind of only inhibited by the fighting deck and the counter to the fighting deck in the psychic decks, which are, as mentioned earlier, both getting badges. So, um, uh, yeah, lost a hunter on that, and then I'll just give a shout out to Fran. We had a really close game with uh, playing into her dragon deck, and she just played so like incredibly well. Like we were both just like it was just like back and forth knockouts where when one of like back to back turns where one of us would attack and the other person didn't have a clear attacker setup or like way to get an attacker for the next turn. And her more so than myself, and was just able to like make the correct plays, develop the attackers, make it really annoying and hard for me to deal with anything. So shout out to her on friend with her evolution dragon list. Pretty similar to what we've seen out of the dragons. There were some differences. I can't think of exactly any that come to mind like off the top of my head, but definitely like a little bit different version there. So yeah, metal as and I was complaining about it on Thursday, and somebody referred to it and said, "Yeah, middle, like it's a mid deck, mid metal," and that's just what it feels like sometimes. Sometimes you're relying on your deck setting up and being like, because it's a decently like consistent deck. It can execute its strategy, and it feels like sometimes you're relying on your opponent like not doing that, and just getting a little lucky. So midweek with metal for sure.
Yep. But thank God we have Tony to boost our boost our numbers a little bit. Yeah. Combined in badges, we're beating Alex Carpenter.
Yeah, it only takes 3 of us.
That's right.
Oh,
Well, it
man.
just takes you 2 to tie him, and I'll push us over the edge a little bit. But
Yeah, it's still that means we still need you, dude. It means we
I'm
still
coming.
need you. Quit getting down on yourself.
No,
We still need you. We got work to do.
I'm trying to put in the work, bro. I'm trying to put in the work. Yeah. It's March. It's March when this comes out. The 3K is at the end of this month, so it's time to grind, right? Tony and I started doing the sim already this past week.
We started a little bit.
Cooking is in progress. We're thinking ahead. But let's think a little further ahead than the 3K and take a look at all the new cards that were revealed in the past week. There was a lot of them. And so we got a lot to talk about. So that'll be the rest of our podcast here, talking about those new cards. We'll go in order that they were revealed, starting off with when the Mega Floette EX first came out. It came with a couple new Psychic cards. Every announcement was Psychic related somehow. I don't know why they keep doing this. They're like, how about another reveal? And how about, oh, what do you know? It's Psychic type. So
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, like where's anything else? Come on, Pokemon, it's funny. But we got this Phantom, which is mildly head scratching, interesting to think about. It's got the ability Envious Evolution, which says once during your turn, you can evolve this Pokemon on the turn you played it, put 2 damage counters on yourself. You just can't do it on your first turn. So similar to like Forest of Vitality. After that first turn of the game, you can instantly evolve this Phantom for the cost of 20 damage. The problem is that there's not really any good Trevenants in GLC. You've got this new one, which has the Cursed Roots attack for 30 damage for 1 Psychic Energy, and it says during your opponent's next turn, Energy cannot be attached from your opponent's hand to the defending Pokemon, so a little bit of energy denial there. But if they have any switches or just attached to their bench Mon, they can get around that. And then the Overpain attack for 2 Psychic Energy, 60 damage, plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on all your opponent's Pokemon. So it's like a spread attack finisher. It's fine. If you really want to play Trevenant, it's fine. If you want to play a spread finisher, it's fine. It's not going to make its way into any of the top tier GLC decks currently, I would say. What do you guys think of this Phantom Trev combo here?
So you said there's no good Trevenants. There is there's like a notable Trevenant in GLC in the item locking Trevenant, the one that has an ability that allows you to item lock. I didn't say good, I said notable.
Well, I said said there's no good Trevenant, and you started to say
okay, all right, sorry. It's not necessarily a counterpoint to your point. I don't think it's bad. I haven't played it in a super long time, but it's with so the new Phantom having the ability that allows you to evolve directly into a Trevenant. It says you can't do it on your first turn though. We do already have a Phantom that has the Ascension attack that lets you evolve in on if you use the attack on your first turn going second. So a way that you can get into this item lock early. And is it being played right now? No, but I don't know if that means it's necessarily a bad card. It's I don't know. I'm more optimistic on cards than you guys are, I think, for the most part. So I like to see the good in some of these ones that don't see as much play. Because item lock's strong. I mean,
I played against this Trevenant this week. Chris Scove was playing this Trevenant. Chris Scove was playing Trevenant. And he got the turn 1 Ascension.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter because its attack is terrible. It needs 3 energy to do 60 damage with a 20 snipe. So even while I'm item locked, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. And dude, unlike
this Trevenant's attack, this Trevenant's attack synergizes with the other Trevenant's second attack more than the other Trevenant's first attack.
Yeah, they like to give guys they like to typecast Trevenant and Phantom, obviously. Slightly disruptive with a little bit of ping damage, that's his vibe. But yeah, it's fine. It's like fine. I think Frillish is like by far the better item locker. It's only 1 deck slot. It can attack on the first turn of the game, and doesn't require Ascension. Hopefully you don't prize one of the pieces. And it being an attack means it's a guaranteed item lock on your opponent rather than an ability on an active, in which if your opponent has any push or Hex Maniac or, Guzma or Boss, they can just start playing items again. But also, since they need 3 energy on it, they're not even doing damage for a couple turns anyways. So at least Frillish from turn 1 with item lock is also putting on some damage pressure much quicker than this Trevenant ever will. So that's my take on this Trevenant. If we ever get an actual good Trevenant, the Phantom will be broken. We've seen, insta evolution abilities be insane. It's great for Forest Vitality and Forest Giant Plants. And obviously the Duskull, the Spirit-born evolution Duskull is already banned because it can evolve because we got a broken Dusclops that was printed. That's why the Duskull was banned. So if we ever get something on that level from Trevenant, this guy might get banned someday. In a GLC future far away we haven't seen yet. This Phantom is one to watch. So it is cool to exist, but yeah, I just don't think Trevenant's cutting it right now.
I want to say something about the Trevenant. I think this card's actually massively.
I'm just kidding.
I think this card's massively underrated. I think the first attack is kind of insane. I think it's insane into any type that's like not psychic. Like, could you imagine this against water?
Yeah,
bro,
you could just Frostmoth to power up their benched Pokemon. That's what's happening with water.
Energy can't be attached from your opponent's hand to the. Oh my god, bruh. Yeah. Scroll.
Yeah.
Scroll.
Okay.
I told you.
Yeah,
I was like
misread it.
racking my brain. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I
how? Like,
misread
what
it.
are you trying to get at here?
I thought it was just complete energy lock. Yeah, we can cut that.
Bro.
We can cut that for
That'd be
sure.
crazy. That'd be crazy.
We
That's
can
not getting
cut that
cut.
for
I tried to
sure.
move on.
Please, bro.
It's not getting
Oh
cut.
my god.
We got a Pumpkaboo, which does 20 damage for 1, and we got a Gorgeist EX, so not very relevant. We got a Xerneas, which is GLC legal. It's got an attack for 3 psychic energy that says 30 damage times the number of psychic energy attached to all of your own Pokemon. So if you just have energy in play to power up this Xerneas, he's only doing 90 damage. So not quite strong. So you need to really have like tons and tons of energy in play to get this anywhere relevant. I'd rather have 2 energy on a Boulder and do 170 than have 3 energy on a Xerneas and do 90. So we can. I don't even want your guys' opinions on that. Okay, no room for
I don't wanna
misreading.
give
We're
it.
not wasting any time. I'll let someone else
Heart
read
would be
this guy
broken with
though.
my psychic Mirage Gardevoir.
I said I didn't want to hear it, Tony. I said I didn't want to hear it.
Sorry.
But we got some metal stuff. So John, Metal Man, why don't you go ahead and take that?
Yeah, so we have Felipe, which is going to be Blacksmith for Metal. Lets you attach 2 basic metal energy from your discard pile to one of your metal Pokemon. So can be the active, can be the bench. Pretty strong effect. I thinking about this card right away. Like right now, I'm playing like the Heatran build with like the fire energies, and like I guess it can be used in there too. Um, but like in a more I guess metally build, like a more straightforward build, just when you're kind of more you're playing more energies. Like in my build right now, I have like like the 6 metal energies as opposed to the like 10, it's like normally like 10 or so in like a metal maker build, so more chance to have them in the discard pile. But like a really strong effect. Like either way, like you can make it work in either deck. I'm kind of splitting hairs here, but like yeah, just attaching 2 energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, really strong effect on a supporter. Get your guys powered up out of nowhere. All of a sudden, you have a Zamazenta with this and attach for turn. Yeah, really strong effect. I think it's going to end up going in most, if not all, metal decks.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it gets used. We'll go back to those stadiums in a second, but while we're still on the topic of metal, go ahead, John.
Yeah, we got a magnet energy. As long as this energy is attached to a metal Pokemon, provides the metal energy, and it has no retreat costs. So, Floatstone as an energy card in metal, which is pretty good. The Archaludon that allows has the ability that allows all of your Pokemon with metal energy attached to have free retreat. It's something that's seen a little bit of play. This being just the energy card itself, just needing to attach and as a float stone. Seems pretty good. Yeah, it'll probably. I don't know. It's just like it's hard because like dedicating like if you're playing a metal maker build, you don't really want um, you know this in there because you can't. It's not a basic metal energy, and then if you're playing like the Heatran build, like, do you really want this to be one of your basic metal energies? Like, you don't play as many of those, and then, the new supporter card can't accelerate it from the discard pile. So like, it's good on the surface. Might start to muddy up your deck a little bit, but like the free retreat is definitely a strong effect to have, regardless. So something to consider, but not like necessarily an auto include. You got to think about this one a little bit more depending on how your deck's built.
That's interesting because I was actually kind of reverse of you. I thought this is going to be way more included than Felipe would. Um, I think, attaching 2 metal from the discard is obviously a strong effect, but metal already needs the consistency pieces, and uh, you just have to hope you have that at the right turn and don't need to draw into it. If you're set up, it's great, but I think
Mhm.
to me, this is just a little more universally useful. Obviously, it has some drawbacks, like you said. Like basic energy is so valuable in metal decks with Bronzong, Metal Maker, Felipe if you're playing it. It just, I mean, just retreat's just always a good effect to have, and Guz Mahala is one of the best cards in the format. So it's just another strong. It's I'd say it's one of your best Guz Mahala grabs in a metal deck because it provides some immediate value that shield energy and coding energy are not necessarily providing. This how strong your board is. Like the -10 damage is fine, but like Guz Mahala to be able to grab this to retreat and maybe grab a different tool rather than like a floatstone. There's just some flexibility there in my mind, but that's my opinion. So
yeah, I can see that. Like that's a good mention because like if you're playing one of the Jirachis usually, and so getting to use your attach for turn, not necessarily to just retreat, like manually retreat, lose the energy into that, and like if you Goose Hollow for this and just Artisan to attach to, if you have an attacker in the active, attach to that and then move it to the bench, you still have the energy on your attacker while you've got like a Jirachi in the active. So no, that's a good take there.
Boom, boom. Tony, anything else to add?
I think my take is that these special energies, they're making me sad because God, they're all of them but the psychic one are just so meh. It's like, give us like the psychic energy was like, okay, ignore the fact that it's psychic for a second. It's just a genuinely cool and like interesting effect to put on a special energy. Now, when you add the context that it's psychic, for us, that's insanely broken. Like they give that to psychic. Why can't we reverse that? Why can't we give metal the double basic finder and give psychic the free retreat one? Like psychic will still appreciate that, but like metal, like we said earlier, it's just like maybe the most mid type in all of GLC. It's not great and it's not horrible, but like I don't know, it's just making me sad. Like I don't think these cards are moving the needle for metal. But like
Yeah.
I want more decks to be good, and it makes me a little upset.
The telepath energy definitely is giving the rest of the special energy a bad taste.
It's mogging them, bro. It's mogging the other special energy.
If we had never seen telepath energy, this is the kind of stuff you expect from these energies. It's like, oh yeah, no special conditions. Oh yeah, some retreat help. Oh yeah, plus 20 damage maybe. It's like that's great. I'm glad that my type has that now. But now that telepath exists, it's like, well, damn,
nothing's gonna live up to that. Nothing's gonna live up to that, and they gave it to the best type. It's like, I know you're not printing cards for GLC, but like, man, it's just annoying. It's all.
Yeah. Good take, Tony.
Sorry, didn't mean to get so emotional. Did I redeem myself for my mishap?
It's something. But where's the new metal Pokemon? Like we got a Cobalion EX, but like where's the new metal? Like hopefully there's some good non-rule box metal Pokemon to go along with the special energy and the Felipe that we just haven't seen yet. So obviously they're printing some metal support. It's coming. There's gonna be some more metal Pokemon that we haven't seen yet. And hopefully they're good and not absolute trash. These stadiums that were also revealed are not going to be GLC relevant at all. They're just a really unique effect that's never been printed in the Pokemon trading card game before. So I think it's quickly worth mentioning. It's an evolving stadium. So up until this point, if you played a stadium, you could not play another one during that turn. Even if you discarded it with your own stadium with like Field Blower or Lost Vacuum and the space was open, you could not play more than one stadium on a turn. However, with this new Prism Tower and Angie Floette Stadium combo, you actually have to play Prism Tower first, and on that same turn, you can play the Ange Floette Stadium to bump the Prism Tower. It gives your Mega Floette EX plus 150 HP, so not GLC relevant, but they're getting creative over there with these new rule breaking cards, and I hope that I like to see some creativity. We'll see if that ever translates to some GLC cards, but it shows they're cooking over there. All right, they're in the lab. It's only a matter of time before it hits the GLC sphere a little bit,
Yeah, they'll print it and it'll be like you could, if you the base stadium's like Psychic Pokemon get free retreat, and then you evolve it, and it's like Psychic Pokemon get plus 150 HP. It's like, yeah, that's they're getting creative, yeah.
You're getting so creative, bro. Purple, yeah.
So I would say
up,
the
okay, go ahead.
Well, hold on, real quick. Go back, because you said you kind of skipped over the basic stadium there. Not entirely irrelevant.
All right, don't exaggerate.
I'm not even okay. Hear me out. I'm not. There's a place for this.
Let's walk with him. Let's walk with him.
What does it do?
Right.
What does it do?
Okay, once during each player's turn, that player may discard 2 cards from their hand. If they do, draw a card. So, there's been stadiums like this, like Cycling Road discards an energy and lets you draw a card, but like I could see this being used in like water or colorless, where you've got industrious incisors and abyssal hand to like thin your hand. There's so many times where your hand's just like jammed up. Like colorless does have like the Skwovet and stuff, but like I don't know, just being able to like unclog your hand a little bit, especially with these draw up 2 cards, could be pretty good. So metals even got it too. The new Delphox that we talked about the last week, so draw up 2. And we said the old Delphox is better, but in draw up 2, Beautifly in grass, something to like thin your hand out a little bit and just draw some more cards. So it's discard 2, draw 1, and then your hand's thinner to draw up to more.
The broken Wo-Chien card. This is a broken Wo-Chien card.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What in what? No, even that. No.
Yeah.
I got one question for you, John. I could see how those synergize it all. Are you ever actually going to consider putting this in over one of your 60 cards you have in the list?
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I literally think in water, like in water, because like right now in like Palatoad, I have like the switching stadium. Like I could see it could fill that spot. My hands
Viridian
so
Forest
much when I have Octillery.
Training Court. There's a dozen stadiums I'd play before I play this one in water.
But you could draw a card.
Why was Viridian Forest the first one you mentioned?
Because it discards, it almost does the same thing. It discards a card from your hand, right? But at least you get to get an energy out of the deck.
And then you have the same number of cards in hand, so you can't abyssal hand.
Truth nuke, Jon Patterson truth.
No, you get to attach that energy. You're thinning one card, and you play the stadium.
We already attached your turn.
Benjamin, you
got hydro pump. You got hydro pump.
Episode, Tony and I are putting our
He's
foot
silencing
down right
us.
Now. This is broken in Wo-Chien. It's useful in water.
Broken. It's not broken.
This card's honestly broken in Wo-Chien. It's a broken.
No, it's fine. It's fine in Wo-Chien. It's not broken.
We're done. We can scroll now. 4 out of 5 stars. Go ahead.
This card has an average rating of 3 stars on the GLCO podcast.
Whoa.
1 star from me, 5 stars from John. Tony, where do you put it?
I'm going 4. I'm giving this 4.
You know what's even better? You can play this stadium, and then you can also play this stadium to thin your hand even more.
See? Now he's getting it.
Because now you can play 2 stadiums in one turn. You're playing 2 stadiums in one turn.
Ben, haven't you heard the phrase "thinning is winning"?
Exactly. I'm finally on John's. I'm seeing the light. I'm on John's side. I can now play 2 stadiums in one turn. All I want to do is just play cards down because I don't want them in my hand. Anyway,
you get it.
Yeah,
you're getting it.
I'm feeling argumentative today. Obviously.
Put your rating for the what's the stadium called?
Prism Tower. I said 1 star already. 1 star.
Put your rating for the Prism Tower in the comments. Let us know how many out of 5 stars is this thing.
We're talking to you now. I'm talking to you.
No, I'm talking to the viewers. I'm going to the viewer. Tony and I are going to the viewers for help.
Yeah.
What do they say in the Discord? What do they say? Pog or bog, bro? Pog or bog?
This card's a pog. This card's undisputedly a pog.
I cannot believe my ears, bro. I want to find new co-hosts.
Whatever, bro. You're gonna be pissed when I badge with this in my Wo-Chien deck.
Oh God. That's literally the only deck I would accept it in. The only one. Like anything else is crazy.
And I'm playing it at the Invitational in my water deck too. And I'm gonna win that.
Anyways, let's get to the actual good cards. We've got four new cards for Psychic. After we just saw the Trevenant line and all those other things, we got four new Psychic cards. They're all named Deoxys, so you can only pick one. Let's go. Let's save the good one for last. But right now we've got Normal Form Deoxys, which is a 110 HP Psychic basic Pokemon. It has the Genome Charge attack for 1 colorless energy. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Psychic energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck so you can power yourself up to 3. And then it has the Psychic attack for 80 plus 20 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, so not even yourself. Pog or Bog?
Bog, big bog.
Bog, yep, thumbs down. It's, not great. All right, then we got Attack Form. Well, this is the good one. We'll save it for the end.
This is the broken one.
Yeah, save it.
We got Defense Form Deoxys, which has 130 HP. Has the Psi Protect attack for 2 Psychic and a colorless energy. It does 80 damage, and it says, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have any abilities. So it is an ability wall Pokemon. And historically in GLC, they've seen some play, but I don't think there's really any decks anymore that play this. Like early GLC, Ingot Swing. What was his name?
Melmetal.
Melmetal.
Yeah.
Ingot Swing Melmetal kind of farmed the water deck a little bit. It was hype. Every water Pokemon had an ability. But yeah, not anymore. The new Wailord doesn't have an ability.
No, like every deck has a guy who doesn't have an ability that can attack. A lot of the basic attackers just don't have abilities.
Yeah. So another thumbs down from the crew. Then we got the Speed Form Deoxys, which has probably this is probably the second best Deoxys, but you can only pick one. Psi Speed for 1 Psychic Energy, 30 damage, and you can draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. So not the worst, and it's got free retreat, so that's pretty cool. Not the worst, not the best early attacker. 30 damage for 1. You don't hate to see it.
Tropical Beach at home.
Tropical Beach at home. Draw up to 5. Do 30 damage. Whatever. It's fine. Tony, what is this?
This is another earth-shatteringly broken Psychic card. It's Deoxys yet again, 120 HP basic Pokemon, and we have the Psi Spear attack for triple Psychic, 120 damage. However, if this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached to it, this attack also does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So this is Amazing Raikou that takes 2 extra energy. And you plop it in the most broken type. It's going to find a way to be played. It's going to be good. Prepare yourselves.
Yes, I agree. I think this card, obviously Raikou, same attack effect, was banned. Now it's in purple. Like Tony said, higher attack cost, but Psychic has ways to get there. You even have feasible routes to get there in 1 turn. You can attach, you can Xatu, you can Malamar, you can Wondrous Patch, you can Raihan. There's 5 right there. So that's one route.
You haven't even attached for turn yet.
No, I said attach first.
Oh, attach was the first one. Okay. Yeah.
So that was that. There's plop that in. All Psychic decks right now are pretty much playing Xatu and Malamar and Wondrous Patch and Raihan. So you could drop this guy in any current Psychic deck and have a route to power him up in 1 turn. Obviously, that's not going to happen most games, but there's plenty of ways to still get this guy up. It does not have a colorless energy in its attack cost, thank God. So Dimension Valley does not reduce it. It always has to be 5. It's not 2 and then an extra 2 because of Dimension Valley. It has to be the 3 and then the extra 2. So at least every other type has that going for it at least. But
actually,
yeah, crazy.
I have a question actually. Can you Can you go 4 energy and counter gain?
No, because
Because
counter
this
gain reduces a
says
colorless cost.
it reduces a colorless cost.
Yeah, counter
It's
gain
not just 1
specifically
energy
reduces
less.
colorless
Okay.
cost. Yeah.
Okay.
And so your 2 extra energy after the 3 psychic can be any color, but since they're not actually part of the cost of the attack, those would
Yeah,
not
that
get
doesn't.
reduced
Yeah.
by dimension value or counter gain or anything like that. But
Okay, that was my question.
Counter
Because
energy
it
applies to this.
doesn't say 2 extra psychic energy. That's why I asked if counter gain.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So it has to be 3 psychic base and then 2 extra of any color, but those can't be reduced. It has to be 2 extra from the original attack cost.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's broken. I think when it was revealed, I saw some discussion that it was like good, but it's not going to be like broken. Like 5 is a lot. That's a lot of resources, but I just think like it's going to see like there's no reason to not play this in my mind right now. Because there's so many ways for Psychic to get there. I don't think you need to even necessarily build specifically around Deoxys like you do with Raikou either. Because with cards like Dimension Valley, Natu Zatu, Wondrous Patch, Raihan, you have so many ways to power up a different attacker while still dropping some extra energy along the way onto your Deoxys, you know? Like, say you have a turn where you Dimension Valley attach to Boulder and you can swing for 1 energy with Boulder. You can spend that turn using your Zatu and Natu on your Deoxys on the bench and have him ready to go for the next turn. So Psychic just has the plays to get around it. So now your opponent has to immediately find a way to deal with this Deoxys, or hopefully wall out the damage. Have a bench barrier, something like that. But it's just going to be it's just a big threat. It's a big threat that's on the board that you're gonna have to deal with if you don't want to just like get swept by the Psychic deck. And Psychic is just, again, it's just another thing that Psychic can throw out at you and be like, deal with this. But if I'm doing this, I'm doing Natu double blindside. It's just like there's too many things to deal with at once in Psychic. It's getting overwhelming for so many types. It's already overwhelming for so many types. And this is just an extra piece to play with. I'm kind of excited to play with it. It's not going to get banned right away. We'll probably have to play with it a little bit and see what happens, but it's busted.
For sure.
I think going back to what you were saying, I think that you definitely don't have to build your deck around the Deoxys. I genuinely think like you can, like with Shiny Arcana Gardevoir or the Psychic Mirage Gardevoir that multiplies psychic energy attached. Even playing things like Smooch 'em, you can really accelerate the process of getting all these energies attached. And when this first got revealed, this Gardevoir was the Psychic Mirage Gardevoir was my first idea and something that I'm like actually really excited to try. Because this is a card that's never really seen, like, I don't know, back in the day maybe it was played a little bit, but this card sees almost no play now just because of how good Gallade and Shiny Arcana Gardevoir are. But I think this card jives and synergizes really well with the Deoxys and is also just like a powerful ability around that too. It's a Boulder for 1 energy, it's a Tina for 2 energy. Like it's that just a good blanket card, I feel like.
It's pretty solid. Yeah, I think, like you said, it's not played over Gallade and Arcana because you just get the extra consistency is so helpful on the stage too. One downside when looking at this now is that, one, it's weak to Psychic, so there's that problem.
Yeah,
and
true.
2, it's under 120 HP, so it's dying to your opponent's Deoxys.
This is true. There are certainly downsides. This card's not providing you nearly as much utility as Shiny Arcana Gardevoir or Gallade. But, hey, if you could Deoxys more often than your opponent can Deoxys, there's a route to win there.
Yeah.
Or quicker, if you could break their board before they break yours. Yeah.
No, it is kind of crazy. You could, with the new Deoxys, there's now a route to completely board wipe your opponent from 6 Pokemon to 0 in one turn. If you parallel the damn... No, I'm miscounting. You go from 6 to 1. Yeah, 6 to 1. Because you parallel, say you're playing a Dusknoir Deoxys deck, all right? You parallel city your opponent, go from 6 to 4 Pokemon in play with 3 on the bench. Dusknoir to kill another Pokemon, so now they have 2. Or no. Yeah, 2 on the bench. 3 in play.
Deoxys, yeah.
Deoxys to take out 2 more Pokemon. They're left with 1 Pokemon at the end of a turn that they started with 6 Pokemon in play. Again, obviously very fringe case. Will most likely rarely happen. But, just crazy to think about. It's just another thing Psychic can do. And it's just, that's why I'm saying it like that. It's just added to the list of the things Psychic can do, and that list is already just incredibly long.
Way too long.
Yeah. So again, it's like, why print this on Psychic? What is even the point of this for Standard right now?
This card's horrible in Standard. Like, this card's gonna be, it's gonna be really bad. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're listening secretly. They're listening, and maybe what if they secretly hate GLC, and they're like, we're gonna print these disgustingly broken Psychic cards until the format's unplayable and you just have to ban the whole type.
Yeah, they just like pushing Andrew's buttons.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. These cards are from the Ninja Spinner Japanese set. They're not going to be coming in English until May in our Chaos Rising set. So still a ways away, but something to look forward to. Any final thoughts on the Deoxys before we move on to some of the next reveals? Yeah.
We're doomering. I think though that's the we're dooming about the Deoxys cards. That's the end thoughts. Everybody be terrified.
I know Lee Hoffman and some of the other Turbo Blaze guys are probably already cooking up a deck for Deoxys with Pokestop in it and Battle Compressor and Trekking Shoes
Togekiss.
and Togekiss with Deoxys is sick. Yeah, the people are
all those cards. Bicycle, bro. You forgot about Bicycle.
Yeah, Bicycle. Yeah, that card. Bicycle's a broken card, bro. Yeah. So, and don't forget Prism Tower. That's got to be in there.
Yeah, that's in there for sure.
Of course.
Oh yeah, the best turbo stadium that exists for sure. Yeah. Anyways, another good Psychic card. Why not add it to the list? Something a little more interesting for the GLC meta. We got a card revealed in Chinese, actually. Ampharos. Tony, why don't you read this one?
It's an Ampharos Stage 2 Pokemon with 160 HP, and it has an ability, Synchronized Pulse. If you and your opponent have the same number of cards in hand, this Pokemon's attacks do 80 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And it has a low-to-the-ground attack, Lightning Colorless, 140 damage, and during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Flash Bolts.
Right, so... John, how would you play this in a Lightning deck?
Yeah, it's a really, you can kind of slot it in. Like it's not a deck that you really have to necessarily warp your deck around because you're already playing the Flaffy line to be able to use that Dynamotor ability and accelerate energy to your bench Pokemon. And we see that with Electric, and I used to say all, but now it's just like a lot of Psychic decks because there are some or not Psychic Lightning decks, because there are some Lightning decks that are just like playing alternative forms of energy acceleration and not these, but like most standard builds are playing this. So it's really a card that you don't have to do much to your deck to build around it. You just kind of slot it in, and it's a guy that can hit really big numbers. Um, uh, like yeah, 220 is an insane. It's clearing things that Lightning like a lot of like spread variants and stuff. Tend to struggle to get through those big HPs. So, yeah, a really cool, useful card. Doesn't yeah, not going to take much to put it in a Lightning deck. That you just got to slot it in, find a spot for it.
Yeah, this is probably like for the Lightning card pool. This is probably like the best line it could have, like this exact card could have been printed for, like an Ampharos specifically, because of that Flaffy. You know, when we think about stage 2 Pokemon in GLC, like we want the stage 1 to have a good effect to like make it really worth playing, and Flaffy is one of the best ones in the whole format, you know, really carrying Lightning on its back along with that eel. Yeah, I think Ampharos is great, because I think Lightning is kind of hurting for, you know, solid quick attackers after your Regieleki gets knocked out, or your Luxray or whatever that you're playing to deal with big threats. You know, you can use Flaffy for a couple turns and then ace in the hole this Ampharos to you know, just blow up your opponent's guy. So I really like. I'm not sure if how much it's going to change Lightning's position in the tier list, but I really like its addition. It's actually thinking about it. I was thinking about him for Torterra, you know, a lot. I think John mentioned that to me earlier in the week. Like, obviously, yeah, this is great to knock out something like Torterra. But I think it also gives Lightning something to deal with Okidogi, because this plus Muscle Band or this plus Electro Power, and you're clearing the buffed HP of Okidogi, which is, I think that's something that Lightning couldn't really do before without shutting off an ability in one attack, you know? So that's, I think, a great buff for the Lightning deck, at least at this low of a cost, you know? So yeah, I think that's a pretty good buff for the Lightning deck. I like this Ampharos a lot. I'm excited for it to come out.
Yeah, got to give a shout out to Ben Peacock here. Probably about a week or two before this Ampharos released, Ampharos, his favorite Pokemon, did the research, and darn near every set that I think he said Rayquaza was printed in, also had an Ampharos printed in it alongside of it. I think it was Rayquaza. It was like one Pokemon, and he's like, there is one of these coming out in this set. So he's like, I think there's going to be an Ampharos. And like a week or two later, the Ampharos just like released. And so it was really fun. So shout out,
Well,
Ben.
it's not Rayquaza, because Rayquaza just came out in Ascended Heroes, right? So it is an
I'm
interesting
blanking on
stat,
what
but I
Pokemon it
don't
was.
know who it. I don't know who it was.
He
I don't know
definitely,
what the
yeah, I was gonna
Pokemon
say,
was.
he had
Um,
the data behind it. I forget what it is
yeah,
too.
he did the research, called the Ampharos coming out in the set, and lo and behold, here it is.
That's crazy. That's a crazy data point to predict the Ampharos from whatever else was in the set. But
Dude, don't play with Peacock when it comes to Ampharos, dude.
Yeah, Ben, correct
but
me.
bro,
Peacock, correct me in the comments here. Tell me what Pokemon it was that you
yeah,
recognized came out with Ampharos all the time.
maybe Deoxys. To be honest, maybe Deoxys.
Could have been.
Anyways, we also got, so I mean, Ampharos obviously could be strong in GLC. We got this Keldeo as well. Probably not very strong in GLC. It has a water attack for 1 energy, 20 damage. Also does 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Fine. Then for 2 water, reflect energy attack does 70 damage, and you get to move unenergy, so 1 energy card from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon. Completely mid, 110 HP, 1 retreat cost. This is a bulk card if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Articuno does it better.
Articuno does do better.
Exactly my thought. Yeah, was that it? I believe that was it for all the card reveals that we haven't done yet, that at least are, you know, GLC relevant. Some promising stuff with the, you know, with the new metal support. We just got to see
And the
what
stadium.
metal Pokemon. Okay.
Don't forget about the stadium.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the stadium again. I'm sorry for clicking back to that page. Yeah, but the big story is Deoxys, of course, from what we've seen. New cards are going to keep getting revealed in the next month or two as you know, Japan leads up to it. But this month is going to be 3K month. We're going to do, you know, we got some plans for episodes pre 3K. You know, we'll do like a meta prediction, tier list, give our thoughts on what we can expect to see at the Perfect Order 3K at Full Grip Games at the end of March. So that'll be fun. And then obviously post 3K, we'll have a lot to talk about with what new decks came out, what performed well, which one of us won, which one of us got second, which one of us got third.
Heck yeah.
So that will be really fun to look forward to. So yeah, thanks. Yeah, any other topics you guys want to address before I close this out?
Yeah, I think we got it all. That was a lot.
I wanted to say thank you to a couple people that were like checking in on me in the comments, making sure. Thank you guys too for holding down the fort while I was gone. Hopefully something like that won't happen again. But yeah, I don't want to make like any guarantees. But yeah, just thank you to a couple people that were mentioning me and thinking about me, and thank you to you guys for doing a great job.
Of course,
Sure.
of course.
Glad
We're
to have
really
you back,
happy to
man.
have you back.
Glad to have you back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, that'll do it. Appreciate all of you guys. Oh, I did want to touch on the Deck Doctor segment that we talked about last week. I've got a couple submissions. Thank you so much if you've submitted. Quick recap. If we're thinking of doing a Deck of the Week, Deck Doctor kind of segment where we take lists submitted by you, our viewers. And if you have like a specific question, like if you want to say like, how would you edit this deck for this matchup or anything like that, send those our way, tag us on Twitter or, create the link in Cardboard Warriors and paste it in the comments. I'm going to keep stockpiling those submissions. Didn't cover it this week because it was obviously a long episode with a lot of news to cover, so we just didn't have the space for it. But in future weeks where we might have a little more space, obviously we're not going to have the same amount of card reveals next week. We could have room to talk about some of those lists you guys have submitted. So feel free to keep submitting. Appreciate those of you that have submitted already. I'm looking forward to doing that. But that's going to do it for episode 7 of the Gym Leader Chat Lounge. Please give us a like, a subscribe, a share, follow us on Spotify. Thank you all for the support. John, what do you say?
Guys, we will GLC you next time.